the revolutionary ankle lock system, an integrated brace built into the boots, delivering unrivaled support, protecting ligaments from twists, tears, and trauma.
Regan Slaymaker for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and Our Kings, and I have the pleasure to be joined by esteemed trainer Abel Sanchez. Abel, we're making a habit of meeting in Riyadh, but first of all, how are you? How was the flight over, and how is everything with Team Summit Gym?
Actually, it was a long flight, but they treat you so well here that it's not a difficult task.
Definitely as well. Obviously, two fighters on the card. Obviously, Mighty Mo Alakel, obviously making a name for himself on these big casts, but then Sultan Al Muhammad as well. I mean, yeah, two young fighters looking to make a big name for themselves on these huge cards.
Yeah, we're fortunate that they're able to be put on these type of cards. It's good for their career, but not only good for their career, but it's also good for their psyche. Hopefully, one day that we'll be on that main event level, and they will be aware of all the pressures of being on a big card like this. So it's good for them. Stage fright will be no longer an issue, because that happens a lot. A lot of times when the fighters ain't at that level, they get all of a sudden at that level and they don't perform. But them being on these cards is going to be good for their career.
It definitely is as well, and I do want to get your thoughts on the main event. Obviously, David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. Obviously, David, I feel like you know him a little bit better than most, obviously coming in when he's sparring Gennady Golovkin as well. But first of all, I want to get your thoughts on, well, not your thoughts, your kind of reflections on that when David came and sparred Gennady in the gym. I mean, what do you remember from those times?
Well, they sparred for several fights. David was only, I don't think it was quite 16 the first time. But Golovkin, always in the gym, was never an abusive guy, even though they were on different levels, and not only ability-wise, but also career-wise and age-wise and weight, because Golovkin back then was maybe around 165 when he was 168 when he was sparring with him. David was probably 185, 190 because he's a young man. But it was good sparring, very good sparring, probably the best, I would say, technical sparring that I had up there for Golovkin. And again, Golovkin was never an abusive guy in the gym, so he allowed David to work and do the things that he was doing so that Golovkin could gain from it.
Definitely, with kind of the level that he showed in those sparrings with Golovkin, did you know that David, obviously you never know with a fighter as young as him, some fighters as young as that, kind of they go off the rails with the success. Did you know that David was going to be as successful as he is two-weight world champion all this back then?
Well, you knew the ability was there. Would the discipline be there? Would the guidance be there? Would the keeping a straight and narrow to get to those levels? Because sometimes there's so many pitfalls along the way that those were the questions for me. But the ability was definitely there. It just had to be honed. It had to be developed. It had to be polished. But he's a good fighter at that age.
Definitely, and I do want to get your thoughts on the main event. Obviously, his first defence since being elevated to world champion at light heavyweight. How do you see his fight going with Anthony Yarde on Saturday?
I think it's a tough fight. I think that Anthony will test him several times. I'm not going to say hurt him, but he will know that Anthony's there. But I think that David wins the fight going away. Anthony will put up a good fight, but I don't think he's on the level of David Benavidez at this point.
Definitely as well. Before we move on, obviously we spoke about David sparring Gennady, but I do want to talk about your time with Gennady in general. Am I right in saying he joined Big Bear in 2010? Is it around?
2010, yeah, right in the middle of the year.
Definitely. I mean, was he world champion at that point, or did you?
No.
Oh, okay. So
no.
you took him to those world title honours. I mean, with that, when he first came to you, obviously he was an esteemed amateur as well. I mean, did you know the talent that you had with him in 2010? Obviously, he turned pro in 2006, but he wasn't world champion at that point. Did you know kind of the star that you had at that point?
No, I actually didn't even know who he was when they first called me. When they first called me and asked to meet with me, sometime around April of 2010, they told me his name, and I had no idea who they were talking about. The managers, the Herman brothers, had been in Southern California and been in Vegas at several gyms, and trying to find not only a coach but trying to find a place to settle down and train. So when they came to me and they called me on a Friday to meet me on a Saturday, I had no clue who he was. And when he walked in my gym, I thought, this guy's the fighter? You know, he's like, looked like a choir boy. He looked like he couldn't hurt a fly. So we met for 2-3 hours. We met the next day before they left on on their trip back. And they said, we'll see you in a couple months. And I thought to myself, yeah, sure. Sure enough, in a couple months, they called me. The managers called me, asked me to pick him up at the airport, and the journey started. But once I caught him on the mitts the first time, probably a week into our training, I thought, I saw him. What I saw in my head was Julio Cesar Chavez only at a heavier weight.
Wow.
That I could make. In other words, he wasn't that type of fighter then, but I knew that I could mold him into that type of fighter. And I told him that. And credit to Gennady Golovkin, not only the professional that he was, but the person that he was. For 9.5 years, I never heard, I can't do this, coach. I don't want to do this, coach. That's not the way that I do it, coach. He allowed me to do my thing.
Definitely, and my last question on this, because I don't want to keep you for too long, and I've got a few other questions. But what would you say your finest night with Gennady was? What was the fight that you look back on with kind of the fondest memories almost?
I think it was a Stevens fight.
Okay.
And the reason being is before that fight, there was a lot of talk and there was a lot of stuff on the social media about a cemetery and what Stevens was going to do to Gennady. And Gennady's got a twin brother who, from what I understand, being in Kazakhstan, that he was the better of the two fighters, believe it or not. Wow. He was the meaner of the two fighters. But Gennady being the oldest, they both decided that one of them was going to stay home and take care of their parents. The other one was going to go on to turn professional. So Max stayed home. Later joined Gennady in his career, obviously as not only as a mentor but as an advisor and another set of eyes. But the Stevens fight showed me that because of all that talk before, Gennady really wasn't interested in knocking him out. Gennady was interested in punishing him for all the things that he was saying, and he showed me that he could dial down his punches and dial down his power and still be accurate and still be effective, but just dialing it down just enough so that he wasn't hurting him to the point where they were going to stop a fight. He just wanted to punish him. They stopped the fight only because the corner stopped it, not because Gennady was hitting him with thunder stuff that he could knock him out like he did the other guys. So to me, that was the fight that showed me that his ability, his professional ability to just tone it down and just go about your business and just punish somebody. So yeah, that was probably one of my most memorable times being in the corner and watching that.
Definitely, and sometimes that's more demoralising for the opponent in general as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, some of the other shots, it was one-punch knockout. You know, like a body shots that he hit Macklin with. He hit Stevens with those same body shots, clean body shots, but it really wasn't 100%. It was more like 60-70%, just to make you understand who I am. You know?
Definitely as well. I do want to move on to the big man in the gym, Filip Hrgovic, El Animal. I mean, really good win against David Adelaide last time we were here. I mean, Filip's chin is undeniable. I don't know how he didn't go down. Fair play to him as well. But I mean, that was a great win. But with the heavyweight division kind of fracturing with the titles, Usyk's just vacated the WBO. It seems like an exciting time for Filip Hrgovic next.
Well, absolutely. I think that he's positioned in the top 1 or 2 in the WBO, so we may get a shot real soon. And it actually worked out perfect. The cut healing fine. He's had some time off. So hopefully a fight sometime in the first quarter, late first quarter, early second quarter of next year. It'd be perfect timing for us. He'd come back to the gym. We've been talking about Fabio when he got moved up, and we've been talking. He loved that fight. He would love to have that fight. It's just a matter now of putting it together and getting that opportunity. That's what all these guys are working for. I mean, and for me as a coach, that's another heavyweight opportunity, heavy title shot opportunity. And hopefully this time I'll be successful.
Definitely with kind of Fabio with Queensbury as well, Hrgovic with Queensbury. I don't want to say you guys are obviously you're targeting a world champion, or you'll always do that. But is it fair to say that's a fight that you guys want? Obviously, you're ranked number 1 and 2, same promotional stablemate. It seems like an easy fight to make.
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly the fight we want. Of course, but the politics of boxing may not allow that. But that's the fight that should be next. That's the fight that Filip wants, and I'm sure Fabio wants to defend his title. And I think it's a fan-friendly fight. I think it's a fight that people would really enjoy.
Yeah, I think they definitely would as well. And I mean, I'm sure Filip, where he's known in the UK, could come to Portman Road. I mean, Abel, I'd love to see you in Ipswich, in Fabio's hometown. That would be incredible as well. Final one, Abel. I don't want to keep you too much of your time, especially talking about this. I'm sure you've been asked to death on this, by the way, so I apologise. Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. I mean, I never thought in a million years I'd be asking you questions on this fight, but were you just as surprised as I was when this news was released? And it's a professional heavyweight contest as well.
Yeah, I was very surprised. But as I've said in the past, as a fight fan, I thought of it as a farce. I thought of it as why they're doing this? Why is AJ doing this? As a coach and as a manager, ex-manager of some fighters, I can understand. I mean, you're talking about we're in this business for a reason, and the reason is to secure our future and secure our family's future. And I think this kind of fight for AJ, very little risk, extremely little risk, and a big reward. I mean, why would you not take it? But as a fight fan, I thought it was a farce. I mean, Tommy Fury beat Jake Paul. It may not be. It may be a little while back, but still, he hasn't improved that much, and he hasn't been fighting anybody that's posed a problem for him. You're talking about a gold medalist, ex-world heavyweight champion. Is not an old man. Has not been beat up. He's a fresh guy who has had time to retool and stay in the gym, and he's a specimen as far as his body is concerned. So he's not the kind of guy that's going to come in out of shape. So, I can see Jake getting knocked out.
Is that because I'm going to say it on record? That's what I think will happen. I mean, but does it get to a point, Abel, that this fight's almost dangerous? Because like you said, for all the reasons that you said, for the success Anthony Joshua's had and for the limited experience Jake Paul's had, it's almost dangerous at this point, isn't it? Would you say that?
No, I wouldn't consider it dangerous, because remember, Jake's been fighting long enough, so it's not like he's never been hit. He's been hit before, so he's going to get hit by a bigger guy. But he's been hit before, so it's not. I don't think it's dangerous in that respect, health-wise. I just think it's not good for the sport. But credit to Jake Paul. He's doing the things. He's captivated a part of the audience, or his audience, that is willing to pay for something like that and make him some money and make the opponent some money. And he keeps doing it. I think this time he's bit off a little more than he can chew. But if he doesn't do too bad, maybe there'll be another one. Some other fighter.
Definitely as well. Abel, I'll leave it there, but any final words for your fans excited to see you back in the corner on Saturday night?
Just thank you for having me, and make sure you tune in and watch my two kids fight. They're on the undercard, but it's two kids that are working hard in the gym, and hopefully we'll be talking about main events for them soon.
Definitely. Abel Sanchez, thank you very much again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The revolutionary ankle lock system, an integrated brace built into the boots, delivering unrivaled support, protecting ligaments from twists, tears, and trauma.